Hello, we're here at Raccoon Creek State Park, which is a wonderful place if you live in the Pittsburgh area to do a one-night backpacking trip. And we're not staying here tonight, but we did bring our packs because we're preparing for our Appalachian Trail adventure. We're not leaving to begin that hike until the beginning of April, but it's important to get ready and to kind of shake down things. We will do some backpacking trips as well when the daylight lasts a little bit longer as we get further into 2023. But I thought I'd go ahead and share with you some things we're doing to prepare. And the first thing was just to talk a little bit about what we're carrying with us in our packs. The nice thing about traveling with a companion is that you can kind of share the responsibility. And but we each have a sleeping pad, we each have a blow-up pad, we each have a sleeping bag and a liner for the sleeping bag. We will exchange out the sleeping bags for the 2 sleeping bags for 1 quilt when it gets a little warmer also. I carry a clothing bag that has all of the other clothing that I might need over the trip. Of course, the puffy jacket, rain gear, so we each have rain pants, and a rain jacket, or rain mittens. I have gloves. We have camp shoes, which we really like using sandals because then you can also cross, do little water crossings and relax your feet as well. We each have umbrellas. Umbrellas are something that we're both using, even though I use trekking poles. We've figured a way to get it attached to the backpack. And I also am carrying the toiletry bag, which is going to have things like our Dr. Bronner's, so a soap that we can utilize when we need to in the backcountry. Also toothpaste, things that we then need to hang up that have a scent. So every night we have to make sure we put them in a bear box or hang them up on a pole or on a tree. And I'm also carrying an extra food bag. Paul and I are each carrying a food bag. Paul is carrying our tent, and he is carrying our trowel and supplies such as that, and our water filter. We each have Nalgene bottles that we're carrying, and we're cold soaking our food. So we're not using a stove at all. We're just cold soaking, so we put some of our food that we do soak into one of the Nalgene bottles as well. And in my little zipper pocket, I like to have some tweezers. You never know when you're going to need tick removal. And also I like to carry Vaseline as a chapstick, and I like to use it in little contact cases. And so life hack right there. It's worked for me for years. And also Vaseline, you can use it on other parts of the body if you get chapped or you get chafed. So pretty cool stuff. So that's a pretty good overview of what we have in our pack. So yes, we're carrying everything with us. We will primarily stay in our tent, and we'll stay at hostels sometimes. And so the other way that we've been preparing is by getting out and hiking. First of all, we love to do that. We walk every day. We like to walk in our neighborhood. We like to practice yoga and other knee strengthening and foot strengthening exercises as well. And we're taking our time going through the book of Awol's Guide to the Appalachian Trail. So we've already kind of worked our way from Springer Mountain, Georgia, all the way to Katahdin, thinking about places where we can resupply that are close to the trail, where we might want to have mail drops. So there's a lot involved, and so it's a lot of fun to share that with you. Of course, getting ready to leave our household behind, leaving our jobs behind. I love my work as a yoga and qigong and tai chi instructor, and I'm excited to come back to that. And I'm excited to provide videos as we're on the trail as well, some qigong. And those are the main things that I can think about. Preparing food boxes for our resupply drops. Also, we'll have a bounce box, and we'll talk a little bit about what's in the bounce box. And so that's all I can really think of at this time, but that'll give you a little bit of an overview. All right, we'll see you later. In order to plan our Thru-Hike, we purchased the AT guide, and yes, we have an older edition, and we'll probably have to double check some things, but that's quite all right.
And this Awol's AT guide has a wonderful overview of the terrain, of towns that one could stay at, of where we can resupply. And so we went through the whole book from Georgia all the way up to Maine, and kind of wrote down our ideas about where we would be making some stops, having some ideas as far as what our time frames will be. And where we might stay, where we might do resupplies, places that we would like to do mail drops, and also our change in mileage. We're planning on starting with lower mileage and ramping things up as we go, and then coming back down because it's necessary with the terrain as well. And so this was a wonderful guide in helping us to work through what our preliminary ideas are. And obviously we have to be flexible with this as well, and offer ourselves plenty of time to enjoy ourselves also.
All right, well, I thought it might be fun if I unpacked my bag for you. So we'll go ahead and do that. Well, right away you'll notice I have my trekking poles here. They are imperative to our setup. Paul carries the tent, so we have a 3-person tent and Paul carries it. I have an umbrella, and yes, I can use it with my trekking poles because Paul has fashioned some wonderful paracord attachments here on my pack that I'm able to put it in, and it has been tested. It works pretty well, even in a windy condition. So we'll see. We'll continue to work with it, but I feel pretty positive about it. I have a Kula cloth, which is something I recommend any lady hiker go ahead and get. It works out really better than the conventional or traditional pea rag, and you certainly don't want to just have a whole bunch of toilet paper strewn all around your beautiful nature setting. So even if you're not a backpacker, I highly recommend having something like this for women. I have a Nalgene bottle, and we each carry a Nalgene bottle for our water. We do have a Sawyer squeeze that's in Paul's pack, along with a CNOC. And Paul carries a second Nalgene bottle, which we utilize for our meals when we cold soak food. We do not carry a stove. I also have my Nemo switchback pad, which this backpack, the Z-Packs pack, did not come with these little straps. We kind of put them on ourselves, and I'm really glad we did. We definitely utilize this for sleeping, but also for stretching out. Something that we enjoy doing quite a bit in our hiking trips is to stop and have breaks. It's part of our hiking style. It works out really well for us, and doing some nice stretches on a mat can feel quite nice. And then within this pocket here, we were out yesterday, so I just have my puffy coat. And Puffy is important. Puffy's quite important. Sometimes I use Puffy as a pillow. Also at night, I have some gloves. Gloves are good to have. I have my camp shoes, and we've been utilizing these Zero Shoes sandals for our camp shoes, which I have to say we like them quite a bit. It's kind of nice to just let your feet air out at the end of the day. They're good for crossings, for water crossings. We have lots of those on some of the trails that we've been on, so we've utilized these quite a bit, and I like to have them. I have also just a mesh bag that I can hang on the side of my pack if I need to. I have some carabiners and things like that to be able to utilize for hanging stuff. And this is just a little wash basin. It was a gift that someone gave us, but I think it'll be really lovely if you want to, if you need to wash some clothing and then hang it on the back of your pack, or to have a bird bath. That could be good for that as well. So I have a little spray bottle. I don't know about this, but it's super light, so we'll see what happens there. We went ahead and got these little pouches also, which I like to utilize for items that I might need to use throughout the day. I wear glasses, and so I have a little microfiber cloth to be able to clean my glasses off. I want to keep it dry as much as possible. An extra hair tie, hey, it happens. Sometimes you need one. my little contact case with my petroleum jelly, fantastic life hack. A comb, you have to comb your hair, and this is nice too because these are items that aren't in our toiletry bag, because our kind of toiletry bag, which I'll show you in a moment, it has toothpaste, it has Dr. Bronner soap, things that have a scent, so we want to hang them up in a tree along with first aid items. So we hang it with our bear bag. So these are things like in the evening, it's nice to comb out your hair. It's also important to have some tweezers handy so we can check each other for ticks. We have used these a lot hiking in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. And let's get inside. Let's get inside, and we just stuff it from the top. Oh, I took out my, oh, here it is, my bear bag. Paul and I each have a bear bag. Right now, we're carrying some weight in it also as we hike around to just get a feel for how that's gonna feel. I think I have 3 pounds in my bag right now. Paul will carry the majority of food. It just depends, you know, what we come across as far as resupply goes. We are going to be mailing ourselves some resupplies, which are significantly lighter than what we'll probably find out in the world. This pack is water resistant, which is amazing. However, it doesn't get heavy, which is great. However, I do keep a contractor bag inside of it with everything else. I have my Awol guide, excuse me, and my pen and journal, because I'll be kind of keeping track of things as we go. And I have my clothing bag, and it has my camp clothes, it has a pair of shorts in it, a few other just items, some extra socks, of course, and undies, things like that. And it's a dry sack, so keeping things as dry as possible is really the key there. Here's my rain jacket, and like having a rain jacket, it's great to have either the rain jacket or the puffy kind of here in the mesh pocket, so that when we stop hiking, you can take it out immediately and put it on so you don't lose warmth. I have rain pants. I'll show that in a minute. I have rain pants, and these are Frog Togs rain pants. We just bought the suits, and I have to say they're super light. I think they're going to help with wind, especially with keeping the wind from that chill, you know, preventing that chill that we get sometimes. I have a sun hat. Love this sun hat. When it is hot outside, I will definitely be wearing this sun hat. It is super dorky and is able to cover the back of your neck, and the dorkier the better as far as I'm concerned. And what else do I have? Here's our toiletry bag. So I already described what was in that. Again, it's a dry sack. We put it in one of the bags that will hang, one of our bear bags. So we hang up our bear bags in the evenings. This is the liner, a cocoon liner for my sleeping bag, and it encourages a little bit extra warmth and also keeps the sleeping bag from getting super dirty if I'm super dirty. We typically try to clean ourselves off a little bit each evening, but you never know what life will bring. And here's a sleeping pad. So we do use our switchback as a sleeping pad, part of the sleeping pad, but then we have blow-up sleeping pads. I love having a blow-up sleeping pad. I end up on my side often, and it feels very comfortable, especially if we end up sleeping in a shelter. It's important to have that extra cushion there. And here's my sleeping bag. I have it in a bag. We'll be using our sleeping bags until we get to, I think around Damascus, we'll be exchanging our sleeping bags, our 2 sleeping bags, for 1 double quilt, which is much lighter than 1 sleeping bag. I'll be carrying the quilt. That'll allow Paul to carry more water, more food, things like that as well, because we divvy up the weight like that. So he keeps some things that I don't have in my pack. This is a yoga tune-up ball. Having a ball to roll your feet out with can be quite nice, or any other part of the body.
I find that it makes a big difference in how I feel if I utilize it after a long hike. So we've decided that it's worth the wait. I'm sure there's lighter variations, but you kind of just have to go with what feels good to you. Things that Paul carries that I don't carry: he has the trowel. He also has some extra paracord because you never know when you're going to need that. I mentioned the water filter, the tent, and he'll carry the bulk of the food. And if we need extra water to be carried, he'll probably carry the bulk of that as well. And so that's what's in my pack. And feel free to ask any questions about that as well in the comments.